Hi Teacher Fit, my name is Bailey. Welcome. We are at the third series now for our Yin Chakra series. So that's exciting. So today it's going to be the solar plexus. So that is our third chakra and it's right above your navel. If you've been following along, we've moved through our root chakra, our sacral chakra, and now we're right up here in the center. This is our chakra that it really comes back down to our personal power, our confidence, the way that we're able to live through our truth. So we're going to be doing lots of poses to open that chakra today, lots of yin-based poses. So 30-minute class. We're going to hold each posture for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the pose. So give yourself time to fully arrive into each pose. And again, just like with the other classes, if you choose to take this in a more restorative direction, you can. If you want to take this in a traditional yin-based manner, you can do that as well, and I'll guide you through those options as we settle into each pose. So as we get started here today, if you have blankets, blocks, bolsters, pillows, any kinds of household items around you, or depending on where you're at, just grabbing onto those, getting them nearby in case you'd like to use them. And we're gonna actually get started on our backs today. So as you come down onto your mats, come onto your backs. And I just want you to try closing your eyes, working your way into some stillness here, just to start. So you can let your feet flop out to the sides, you can let your palms face up, and just notice how you're feeling. Notice how it feels to invite in some stillness. Is there any anticipation to move? And check in with your breath. Noticing how your breath feels just in the background, working for you, working with you without any control on your part. Breathing through any wiggles you may have. Let's take a few breaths here to clear things away, make space for our practice, okay? So breathe in fully through your nose. Take a big inhale. Fill as you can, fill up as much as you can, and then open your mouth and let it out. Do that a few more times. So long, big fill in through your nose. And let it out. Good. And starting to make those inhales a little longer. Your exhales match in length with your inhales. Beautiful. And when you're ready here, let's take a full body stretch. So reach your arms up overhead, point through your fingers and toes. You can kind of swivel your hips around on the mats. Just like you're waking up from a nap here. Really stretch. Beautiful. Then coming into our first pose, I want you to shimmy your shoulders over to the right, okay? So as much as you can. And then try to walk both of your heels to the right as well. Arms stay overhead. So we're in this crescent moon shape. It's almost like this little C shape with our bodies. So you walk your shoulders over, you walk your heels over, trying to keep both of your sit bones grounded. So if that left hip is popped up, press it back down. And this is when you can choose, right? You can keep your heels flat on the mat, or you can start to cross that left heel over your right ankle if you want, if that helps you get into the side stretch. And you can grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and give yourself a little assist as you kind of pull over to the right. Both of your shoulders are nice and flat, both of your sit bones flat. You may even lean to the left a little bit here as you pull on that left arm to the right. So finding a little bit of an active stretch at first. Take a breath in. And then exhale, just really release. Land where you land. Letting everything kind of collapse in this side stretch. This is our banana pose, banana asana. Keeping your eyes closed here. Just allowing this side stretch to happen on its own. So there's no control. You can bring your arms alongside your body if you'd rather not have them overhead. Just take a couple breaths in and out and notice how this feels along the left side of your body. So this space between your ribs. Notice how it gets a little bit bigger as you breathe in And as you exhale, find some softness. Good. And stay here for 5 more breaths, 5 more cycles of your breath. Noticing how it feels to be still, noticing how it feels to be quiet. And just existing through the space around you. You don't have to become this external world. Breathing with what's happening in that internal landscape within yourself. Take your time here. As you start to come back through center, you can kind of inch your shoulders back to the center of your mat and bring your heels right back down in front of you. Reset, take a breath in, and then on your exhale, shoulders come all the way to the left and your heels walk to the left as well. So they may or may not come off your mat. And you can cross that right ankle over your left. You can reach your arms up if you'd like, grabbing onto your right wrist with your left hand, and breathe into the right side of your body. So you dictate the amount of stretch that you want to feel here by how much you walk those shoulders to the left and how much you inch your heels over to the left as well. Good. Take a couple breaths in and out here in an active stretch, really pulling along that right arm, settling into it with every exhale. Beautiful. Finding your sweet spot, a place where you can stay put. And once you're ready, inviting in some stillness here. So arms can stay up overhead. Release any binds that you have. If you want to uncross your ankles here, you can do that. And just start noticing how the breath moves through your body in a relaxed way when you let go of all control. So that's the idea of yin here. It's to move into our joints, our connective tissues, our fascia. We're not looking to find that strength-based stretch where we're reaching, pulling, tugging. You want to find the sensation of your stretch through release and surrender. Sometimes that's tricky to figure out how to do that. We're kind of designed as humans to think, I need to do more, I need to be able to feel this sensation to associate that with success. And you're getting the full benefits of these poses by just arriving where you arrive, settling into your nervous system, and just exploring your awareness. Take 5 more breaths here. You may associate your inhales with your solar plexus chakra, imagining you're breathing in this yellow color and feeling it going through your nostrils into your lungs and filling up that energy center within your body, rebalancing it, restructuring it. Beautiful. And then coming back through center. Everything nice and aligned here. You can take another full body stretch if that feels good. And then we're going to come into our bridge pose. So you can bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Press your hips up to the ceiling, and you can start to bring your hands together for this little interlacing or bind right at your low back. And just, again, find this pose in an active way at first. Squeezing your thighs together, send your hips high. Notice your glutes and your quads start to turn on. And then you can start to lower down. Find a block, find a bolster. We're going to come into our supported bridge. So this is where you're going to decide how high you want your block. So where does the intensity of the pose lie for you? Do you need to come up a little higher? So the idea in our yin poses is to find this threshold in our stretch and to stay there for the duration. So we're looking for that place where we've approached our discomfort. We are there. We're not feeling pain. It's not too much to handle, but there is something to handle there, right? So it's not complete restoration. And then just closing your eyes if that feels good and inviting this pose into your body. So notice, are you clenching? Is there space inside of you that's not allowing this pose to happen. Maybe it's mental. Fall a little more deeply into the pose here. Soften. Let your hands relax, your fingers, your toes. Let your chin untuck from your chest here. Nice long spine through your neck. Take a couple cycles of breath. Notice how the circulation has changed in your body and how this feels. Beautiful. Take 3 more rounds of breath. Letting go and finding your biggest variation of this pose through release, not force. Good. And when you're ready, taking your time, pressing into your feet, squeeze glutes and thighs. Start to remove that block if you had one, lower all the way down. You can start to hug your knees into your chest and feel your low back really press into the mat here, countering that back bend. If you want to rock and roll to the left or the right, you can do that. And then take your time here, rocking upright, find a comfortable seat, and start to swivel your heels back around to the side as you stretch all the way out onto your stomachs here. Legs come back behind you. We're gonna find our Sphinx pose. So another back bend here. So I want you to bring your feet, tops of your feet flat to the mat, and then notice how my shoulders are right on top of my elbows, right? So you don't want to lean forward like this. You're stacking your elbows right underneath your shoulders. So you have a nice steady base here. Good. And to find this pose in an active way, you press into the tops of your feet. Squeeze glutes and thighs. Notice how that lifts your kneecaps up off the mat, right? Nice active stretch. Press into your forearms. Chest comes through, shoulders roll back. Breathe in here. Find this active pose, active Sphinx pose. Beautiful. One more breath. And then as you exhale, release any tension, any clenching that you have. And find a way to relax into the pose. So I like to grab a block and kind of rest my forehead on it. There's still going to be some activation in the strength of your arms here. So that's okay, but you just want to find a place where you can still find this back bend, but also find a release. So you're using your skeletal structure to support you here. You're just stacking rather than your muscles to hold you up, right? There's a little bit of that there, but you still want to make sure you can soften and settle and give yourself time to feel this back bend. Beautiful. You can adjust the block, and you can also use a bolster. You can also use a pillow. But find a place to stay and be still and invite this pose into your body. So this is a different back bend than our bridge pose. We're prone here, noticing how that feels right above your navel. Our solar plexus also enters and exits through the back side of our body as well. So noticing through the back bend right here how that feels. What does that release feel like? Maybe not just physically, but energetically. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Noticing if you're holding on, trying to let go. And then slowly removing your block, coming all the way down onto the mat, rested cheek. And you can start to bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet, swish them from one side to the other. Beautiful. So we're going to come into our half frog. If you have a full frog pose in your practice and you know and love that and you want to stay there the whole time, you can do that. But for now, we're going to move into half frog. So you can come back up into somewhat of a Sphinx type position here, and you're just going to move your right leg out to the side, bending at a 90-degree angle, and again, stacking your heel right underneath of your knee. Thinking about your knee in line with your hip, okay? And if this is a little uncomfortable, you can always use blocks and bolsters and position yourself how you need to. Option to come all the way down and rest a cheek on your hands, creating this little pillow for your face. And if you can come all the way flat onto your mats, you can do that as well. Give yourself time here. 5 breaths. Nice and slow. Noticing if there's anything in your body that's stale or sticky, something that feels like it needs to release. Send all your breath there. And give yourself time to let go. So sometimes when things are a little bit stuck, we keep it sticky, we keep that clenching, we keep holding on there. But the more you can soften that space, feel really light in that joint or that region, the more ease we can feel. Good. Take one last breath here, and we're just going to move to the other side. So in your own time, you can start to come back up onto your forearms. And send that right leg back, and bring your left leg out to the side. So again, stacking your heel right underneath your knee, and keeping your knee in line with your hip. Staying upright or coming all the way down. But you're finding a place here where you can experience no effort on your part, yet there's still effort within the pose. So adjust your body so that you can experience that. And maybe your effort doesn't come from a physical place. Maybe your effort comes from the fact that you have to be still. Maybe your effort comes from the fact that you have to be here with your thoughts that you may be avoiding. There's always effort. Take about 3 more rounds of your breath. Beautiful. And then moving that leg back, sending your hips up and back, walk your fingers back. Let's find a little child's pose, rounding your spine. So keep your knees together. If you usually keep your knees apart and you really want to, that's fine. But when your knees are together, we can round our spine over our legs here. And you get to counter any back bends that we've done. Connect back in. Notice how it feels for your forehead to connect with the mat. The palms of your hands connect with the mat. Root down. Drawing any energy in that you may need. Exhale anything that you don't out of your mouth. Beautiful. And as you start to walk your hands back towards your body, coming upright. So this is where we're going to find our prone twist. And if you'd rather take a supine twist or any other twist, that's fine. If you've got your bolsters, if you have those, pillows work just fine. You can roll a blanket as well. Take your time to find this. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit back on your heels. You want to bring your bolster right up to your hip. So in this case, it's my left hip. You can do either side. You're going to start to frame the bolster or the pillow or the roll blanket with your hands here. And you're going to lie on it, right? So you're going to bring your chest down onto the bolster. You still have your knees bent, and you just fold. You can bring your arms out to the side if you'd like, and you can explore which direction you want to rest your head. So if you're facing the direction of your knees, there's going to be a little more ease there. But if you fully twist and you face the direction of your backside, you'll find more effort. But this is our prone twist. So you want to try to keep your torso, your chest flat on the bolster, and then use your neck to further the twist here if you choose. And then close your eyes and find a place to stay. And we'll be here for about 3 breaths. So really finding a place that's comfortable for you, a place that makes sense for you to stay for the duration. As you close your eyes, just allow this pose to settle in. Notice if you're trying to make this pose look or feel a certain way, and if you can just melt into it. Trust that you're receiving what you need right now, regardless of how it looks. Sometimes these yin poses are challenging when we get into certain joints. We have to hold these poses for a really long time, and it works into a physical challenge for us. Other times it works into a mental challenge, having to stay still. So notice what that is for you, and maybe there's none of that. Maybe you can fully enjoy this. It's usually different every time you come back to your practice, every time you come back to the mat. So just witness what it is for you today. 3 more rounds of breath on this side. Starting to walk your fingers back towards your body nice and slow, sitting upright. And then you can just start to swivel to the other side so you can keep your bolster where it is and just reposition your hips. So again, you're gonna squeeze the bolster right up against your opposite hip this time. Frame the bolster, the pillow, the blanket, and fold. And you can choose to face either direction. And once you come to this place on your mat, finding stillness. If you find that your thoughts are taking over here, you can come back to your breath, breathing in for a certain count, 3 or 4, pausing, and exhaling for the same amount of time, and pausing. And keep focusing on your breath, being curious about it. How does it feel when you make your inhales a little longer? What does that space between your inhales and your exhales feel like when you're not breathing in or out? And notice how long can you make your exhales. Is there a mental resistance with controlling your breath? Is there a little bit of resentment, a little bit of pushback, or do you enjoy it? All things to notice, nothing's right or wrong. It's just all a part of that curiosity with ourselves, being the internal witness. Good. And as you wrap up here, 2, 3 more breaths. Take what you need from this pose. Starting to press yourself back upright. And spinning into a comfortable seat here. If you want to sit on your bolster, you can. You can cross your legs or you can sit back on your shins. It's up to you. But once you get there, I want you to close your eyes, palms face up on your lap. Breathe into this practice and breathe it out. Let your shoulders roll back and down your spine and settle in. You're going to take 5 breaths here, 5 breaths of stillness and silence just for you, letting this be the most important pose of your entire practice tonight. Maybe you let the corners of your mouth slightly turn up. A little smile, internal smile for making this time for you. You spend so much time caring for others. A little pat on the back for doing this for yourself tonight. And when you're ready, you can reach your arms up overhead, take a full breath in. And exhale your hands to your heart. Bowing down in gratitude for your practice. Namaste. Great work, everyone. I will see you next time. Thank you.